What the heck does the term indie even mean? As a new indie game dev myself, I've been pouring a lot of sugar, spice, and everything nice on indie studios that have inspired me to grow, from Supergiant Games to Team Cherry. But some of you have been really quick to point out that some of the studios that I have named are technically not indie, particularly Sandville Interactive with Clair Obscure Expedition 33. Technically speaking, the term indie game refers to that game that was funded entirely by an indie studio. And yeah, if we go by that term, I have been throwing the term indie studio very loosely lately. I'm gonna bring up a point that probably has nothing to do with video games, but just stay put. I have a point. I want you to take a look at the world indie rock music, just to compare. Originally, the term was used pretty much the same way. It was a term simply meant to say that an artist released their music using a smaller label instead of the bigger ones. But isn't it now used more as a descriptor of the genre and a certain sound of the music and not so much as the textbook description? Indie rock was just small scale, but very loud and rebellious. Over time, a different sound started to emerge made by these pioneers. By the time the 90s roll around, these grunge independent acts had already been signed in with major labels. And that is when the terms alt rock, college rock, and indie rock started kind of meaning the same thing. For the average listener, the band's sound was way more important than the economic factors that they had to go through to get their music released. And that is when indie rock became a genre in and of itself. Generally, it was just a catch all term for jangly guitar sounds or music that didn't really fit the radio friendly box. But nowadays, bands like Arctic Monkeys, Florence and the Machine, and Radiohead are insanely huge. But the funding and the reach of their most recent projects is a far cry to what the term indie initially represented. Nowadays, the term indie is mostly used to describe a certain sound, a certain attitude, a certain kind of heart. Is this rebellious sense of genuine heart and commitment what makes a game indie to me? None of that executive meddled projects. None of that trend chasing slow. And you might even agree with me without even noticing. Do you remember Dave the Diver? With its super charming and fantastic 2.5D visual style and a very unconventional main character? Many people assume that Dave the Diver was an independent game, but it's actually published by Nexon, and Nexon has a lot of money to throw around. So maybe we just need another word to differentiate the economic and the stylistic nature of indie games. What do you guys think?